For joining us on a Friday afternoon in downtown Charlottesville. Last show of the week, and goodness gracious, has it been a busy week. And leave it to the city of Charlottesville, leave it to city council to steal the thunder from the University of Virginia. I mean, we've been talking Jim Ryan's resignation. We've been talking Creed Deeds investigating the Board of Visitors, in particular the rector and the vice rector, for their role in Jim Ryan's resignation, and whether or not the rector and vice rector were in cahoots with the Trump administration and the Department of Justice to get Jim Ryan canned or force his resignation. We've been talking about white-collar racketeering at UVA Health with retired CEO Craig Kent, eventually leading to the resignation of the hospital CEO and the dean of the medical school. We've been talking about dysfunction and malpractice and backroom wheeling and dealing and backstabbing and deceiving and deceit at the University of Virginia for weeks, if not longer, for months, for most of this year. Most of this year, that's been the topic. UVA driving the news cycle with Jim Ryan's forced resignation and who's going to be the next president, and the Board of Visitors, Youngkin failing to get his appointments approved for the BOV. Leave it to Charlottesville. Leave it to City Council. Juan Diego Wade, Brian Pinkston, Lloyd Snook, Natalie Oshrin, Michael Payne, Brian Pinkston, all you guys. Leave it to you guys to steal the thunder from the University of Virginia and that train wreck, and to take the locomotive, take the caboose, take all the train cars that are literally on a collision that everyone's watching on grounds at UVA, and steal that wreck and create a nuclear site of your own. I mean, boy, oh boy, has Juan Diego Wade, Brian Pinkston, and City Council, have they stepped in a pile of poo? And that stink is, ladies and gentlemen, significant right now. We're going to talk about all this on the program today. I encourage you to like and share the show. Tina Wyatt Breeden and Vanessa Parkhill, thank you for doing so. I'm going to ask really pointed questions that I think all of us should be asking. There was a homeless ordinance that the council, the city attorney, the city manager, police chief Kachis, they've been working on this homeless ordinance that was going to basically offer a framework for the police department to prevent the homeless population from camping on public property, the downtown mall, for example. An ordinance that was rooted in empathy and humanity. We're going to give you 10 days notice. We'll let you know today that you can't camp here anymore on the mall, next to the Rivanna River, by Free Bridge, in the park. We'll give you 10 days notice to move. And when we come back 10 days from now, if you're still here, we're going to kindly ask you to leave, and we're also going to store your possessions to help you for 60 days at no charge to you. I mean, one of the most empathetic and kind ordinances possible. If we have to utilize the law, it's going to be a Class 4 misdemeanor. It's going to be a small fine. The Class 4 misdemeanor will not result in jail time. And if you are unwilling to pay this fine or incapable financially of paying the fine, that won't result in jail time as well. I mean, it is like the most approachable ordinance possible for the homeless. City Council instructs Sam Sanders, the police chief, the city attorney, to start working on this in April of this year. The city attorney, John Maddox, who maybe moonlights as Jerry Seinfeld and as a comedian, cracking dad jokes Tuesday night in front of a hostile council chambers, linking himself to the extremely handsome Danny DeVito, hoping Danny DeVito, who starred in Twins along Arnold Schwarzenegger, plays him in a movie with a script written by John Grisham about this new zoning ordinance. Literally, the city attorney made that joke on the dais. Chief Kochis is instructed by council to present this ordinance, which the city attorney and the city manager had a hand in creating. Then council proceeds to distance itself from Kochis' presentation, leave the chief on an island to be lambasted by 100 to 200 people in council chambers who are hurling slurs at him, fascists, other nasty terminology, interrupting him while he's speaking. And Kochis is perceived to be the guy that was the originator of the ordinance. If you missed the interview yesterday we did with the police chief of Charlottesville, Chief Kochis, he was with us for an hour. He was fantastic. He offered insight and color to what was going on that you can find nowhere else. That interview is archived at ilovecville.com. I'm going to ask you, the viewer and listener. I'm going to ask you, the taxpayer. I'm going to ask you, the voter, the homeowner, the business owner, the tenant. Did Charlottesville City Council, Juan Diego Wade, Brian Pinkston, Michael Payne, Lloyd Snook, and Natalie Oshrin, did they use Police Chief Kochis as a fall guy? I'm going to ask you this question very straightforwardly. We now know there's roughly 240 homeless individuals in the Charlottesville area. 240. How is a population of 240 people impacting Charlottesville to the tune of what we are seeing today? I'm going to ask you, the viewer and listener, this question. How is a small contingent of people in council chambers, led by Nakia Walker and Livable CVille, capable of bullying city council during a public meeting into stepping so far away from the ordinance that they're willing to leave their police chief out to dry? What does that say about the character and the integrity of council? We're going to talk about that, ladies and gentlemen, on today's show. We're going to talk Bonny and Reed and Alakazam closing. 2 more storefronts downtown have closed. We're going to talk sales tax collections in Charlottesville City, down Q1 2025 versus Q1 2024, and Q4 2024, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 in 2024 were down for the entire year. I'll say it again. In 2024, sales tax collection, which does not include the meals tax or lodging taxes, as I learned today from Neil Williamson, the president of the Free Enterprise Forum on Real Talk this morning, 2024 was a down year. The entire year in 2024 versus 2023 was down. Now the first quarter of 2025 is down versus the first quarter of 2024. We have a trend line, Chris Engel. We have a data set and a trend line, Chris Engel, head of economic development in Charlottesville City Hall. Furthermore, since the first quarter of this year, we've seen more closings in Charlottesville. Right? Mm-hmm. What are the iconic businesses that have closed in the last 13 years? I Love CVille, iconic businesses that have closed. You need to add Alakazam to that list, please, sir. Mm-hmm. What's the URL? J-Dubs?
Let's see.
Is it ilovecville.com/closing? Or closed?
I'm checking.
Judah's going to give us, it's ilovecville.com/closed. Icons that have closed in the last 12 months. Blue Moon Diner, Moose's by the Creek. Neither Blue Moon Diner or Moose's by the Creek have active businesses in them. Although businesses are percolating for the sites, they haven't opened.
Yeah.
Eljo's Traditional Clothes. One of the neighbors in the Millmont shops took over Eljo's, leaving another vacancy there. Reed's, that's still not open. It's going to be twice as nice. The Guadalajara on Fontaine Avenue is closed. Mel's Cafe, Lumpkins, Little John's. Little John's still doesn't have a replacement tenant since it's closed. 10,000 Villages on the downtown mall closed in the last year. End Zone Pizza north of town. Belmont Pizza, that's Charlottesville City. Tubby's Restaurant and Deli closed. Add Alakazam to that list. We are not going to add Bonny and Reed to that list because they don't have the institutional run to be called iconic, but Alakazam certainly does. Did you know the owner of Alakazam said her sales volume is down 30% year over year, the toy store in the downtown mall? 30%. 30%, ladies and gentlemen, year over year. If you're Chris Engel in City Hall and you're the head of economic development, are you asking yourself, Houston, do we have a problem? Are you asking yourself, is Albemarle County eating our lunch and stealing our market share? And what are you doing about it? And speaking of Little John's, Stefan Friedman, the restaurateur, a partner in Little John's. Stefan Friedman, the principal of Bonny and Reed that just closed. Stefan Friedman, the shot caller at Draft Tap Room that's vacant and still not open. What's going on with that restaurant empire that also includes Vitae Spirits, Ace Biscuit and Barbecue, and the sushi joint in the back of Vitae Spirits? What's going on there? Why are we seeing closures? He's got Little John's and Bonny and Reed that just closed this summer in a short period of time. A lot we're going to cover on the program, ladies and gentlemen, including the University of Virginia traveling to NC State for a 12 o'clock kickoff tomorrow on ESPN2. The Wolfpack, a 3.5-point favorite. UVA has an opportunity for a statement win. I've called it the most important game on the schedule. You win this, then you have William & Mary and Stanford in weeks 3 and 4. And you could potentially go 4-0 going into that matchup against the Florida State Seminoles at Scott Stadium on Friday night on national television. And that's, if you're 4-0 going into that matchup, anything can happen. Anything can happen. John Vermillion and Andrew Vermillion, 5 generations, the Vermillions in Albemarle County. Their business, Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, is 3 generations strong. They are located on East High Street and online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. If you're purchasing sanitary supply of any capacity, you do it through John and Andrew Vermillion at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply or online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. These people are honest, they're communicative, they're willing to offer education to you when you come in and shop there. They have free local delivery through their website. If you order online, free local delivery to your house and doorstep. They have a mechanic on site to fix your vacuums, your pool robots. And they're just good people. We want to see these types of businesses make it another 61 years. Judah Wickhauer, studio camera and two-shot. I count on you as a voice of reason. And everyone give Judah Wickhauer some props for the haircut. Look at the haircut from Judah Wickhauer over there. Looking distinguished, Judah Wickhauer on a Friday.
Thank you.
Was Koch's not awesome?
Oh, Koch's was wonderful. And stand up. I mean, you know, he could have named names. He could have
throwing people under the bus.
Yeah,
pointing the finger,
as was essentially done to him, and he, as always, keeps it classy.
He took it.
Yeah, and that's his job, and I appreciate the fact that he's got a sense of humor about it, and we're not going to lose probably one of our best city leaders because of the rest of our city leaders.
I asked him 3 times, is he prepping his resume to consider another job? He said, no, Charlottesville's my home. This is my last stop. My wife said this morning, Chief Kochis makes policing look cool. That's what she said this morning in the kitchen. He makes policing look cool.
Yeah, and if
he said this, and then you jump in. I get yelled at all the time. That's a Tuesday for me. Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said I was unfazed with folks in council chambers calling me a fascist and hurling other slurs my way. You watch the playback of Kachis in the presentation, there were a couple of moments where he did a whoosah moment and composed himself.
I forget what I was going to say, but yeah, Kachis is he's a class act, and I appreciate having him in our city leadership. He's cool under fire, and he knows his job. Oh, I know what I was going to say. And if you listen to his words, he's not going after anybody. He has a deep respect for everybody in this city, and that is one of the things that I appreciate the most about him. Listen to him talk about the homeless. He's respectful of them. He's met with them. He's probably spoken. I have no basis for this, but I would guess that he's spoken to more homeless people than the city council combined.
100%. 100%. I'm going to ask very straightforward and uncomfortable questions today. The homeless ordinance that was presented to council on Tuesday, the drafting of said ordinance, the birth is a better word, the birth of said ordinance, April of this year.
Yeah.
When council instructed staff, city manager, city attorney, police chief, to get an ordinance going. Chief Koch just talked about it. He called it in the 221 meetings.
Yeah.
Where it's two counselors meeting with himself and some other city staff. And council has indicated, Lloyd Snook in particular, that the top item in his inbox with local government is the houseless and the homeless. And the impact it's having on the economy and small business. Yeah. Top item, Lloyd Snook has said, in our inbox. So council says, let's get an ordinance drafted.
Yeah.
Let's have Sam, the city manager. Let's have the city attorney, John Maddox. Let's have police chief. Let's get an ordinance drafted.
And it should be pointed out that while many at the city council meeting tried to make a point that this was based on Trump's executive order to get homeless out of city city areas. This was started in April
before the executive order materialized in July.
Yeah. So this has nothing to do with that. That has no bearing on any of this.
Anyone who's linking this to Donald Trump, Jeff Fogel, I'm talking to you. Anyone who's linking this to Donald Trump, Matthew Gillikin and Stephen Johnson and Livable CVille, I'm talking to you. Anyone who's linking this to Donald Trump, Nakia Walker, I'm talking to you. You are being disingenuous with that link. Mm-hmm. This was birthed prior to Trump doing his executive order.
Yeah.
Anyone who is linking this ordinance to criminalizing the homeless, you are being even more disingenuous. It's the antithesis of criminalizing.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth's attorney, Joe Platania, indicated that his office is not going to go balls to the wall with these fines or this misdemeanor and it's not going to result in jail time.
And even if it was, the police department has no appetite for going out and handing out fines to every single homeless person in the area.
They don't want to do that.
That's not what this is about.
That's not policing. They put an ordinance together that was a framework because currently the police have no framework. Yeah. When they see someone passed out on the downtown mall, next to Hamilton's, next to the Fitzroy, next to Rapture, next to Sal's Cafe Italia, the police go there prior to Tuesday with literally zero legal backing.
Yeah.
Outside of the perception of a man or woman in uniform and the perception of authority that's bred from that uniform.
Yeah.
And they kindly ask the houseless individual to leave. If that houseless individual were to say, "No, I am not," that police officer would have no legal recourse to do anything.
Right.
Even if the houseless individual was next to diners on the downtown mall, speaking loudly, using profanity, sitting there in his boxer shorts or bra and panties. Think about that.
Yeah.
April, an ordinance was drafted, and we got to be rotating lower thirds on screen here, tied to this.
Okay.
And Tuesday, it was presented to council. We know it wasn't tied to Trump, and we know it's not criminalizing the homeless. I'm going to ask you, the viewer and listener, this question. Did city council draft an ordinance or order the drafting of an ordinance that was fool's gold from day one, from the beginning? Was this ordinance nothing but window dressing for the business community and for the silent majority that is afraid or unable to speak about this for fear of retribution from a very vocal minority? Why, in council chambers, when those who were in attendance that were utilizing words like fascists, hurling profanities, screaming nasty commentary to Greer Achenbach, Mike Kochis, and to city council, why did anyone on the dais not say it was us who ordered the drafting of this ordinance? Why? Why, Juan Diego Wade? You're the mayor. Why, Juan Diego Wade, did you allow that meeting to play out the way it did? It humiliated you, sir, as the mayor who's in charge with keeping order in the meeting. The extent of what you did to maintain order in the meeting, Juan Diego Wade, was utter the word please about 150 times. Please, 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 please. I've watched it twice. We played the clips on Tuesday's show. No, on Wednesday's show.
Yeah.
Please, 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 please. That's all Juan Diego Wade did. Never once did Juan Diego Wade offer a accountability order. You will not behave this way or you will be thrown out of council chambers. Shame on Juan Diego Wade. I think with the benefit of hindsight, you're looking at a council who ordered this ordinance to be drafted that ended up using Kochis as the fall guy because they didn't want to appear uncool in front of 200 in City Hall that were bemoaning and bullying them.
In fact, I would go further because there's no reason to even ask for the drafting of an ordinance unless you want to show off that you're unwilling to go ahead with it. I mean, does that even make sense?
I have a hard time understanding why that would make sense. You're right.
Let me bring this before council so we can shoot it down.
Draft this ordinance, spend from April until September doing it.
Yeah.
Take taxpayer resources. These people don't work for free. Only for us to shoot it down 5-0 based on the argument that we don't have a low barrier shelter in play. And if we do this ordinance, the 240 houseless individuals will go somewhere else than where they are right now.
Well, essentially, all that was asked is repeatedly, where are they going to go? I've got a great spot, like right on the corner of Preston and McIntyre. It's a vast green lawn.
What's corner of Preston and McIntyre?
It's in front of the, what is it, the federal building? I don't know what it's called.
The Albemarle County Office Building?
Yeah.
Across from Wendy's?
Why is that any?
You want to create a homeless encampment on the gateway to the downtown mall?
They're already on the downtown mall. Why is that a better or worse spot than on the downtown mall and across the street at the park?
We had a terrible situation with the homeless encampment in Market Street Park, Sandersville.
Yes, and we've essentially heard from council, whether they said it out loud or not, that they are not going to stop encampments because they shot down this ordinance, which would have given the police a legal framework with which to deal with encampments, which was supposedly why it was drawn up, because they get and Councilor Payne said as much. When we get enough calls, when we get enough emails about an encampment, we send the police.
Free Bridge is a good example.
But the police have no legal framework. And Chief Conscious said, "I'm glad they were loud and clear with what they told us at the city council meeting, because now I know that if there's a problem, I don't have to worry about sending the police."
Yeah. So now,
so why not?
when the police are called, the police will not come unless the houseless individual is breaking the law.
Yeah.
Breaking the law. So you can stand on the downtown mall next to the al fresco dining in your boxer shorts, right next to the person eating a $50 steak and drinking a $15 old fashioned.
Yeah.
And nothing could be done about it.
Right.
And counselors have indicated, and finish your thought here, remember your thought, because I know it's going to be a poignant one. Counselors have indicated that we're a year away easily from a low barrier shelter being created.
Yeah.
The funding is in place, but there's no one that is willing to run it, and they don't have the constituency that's willing to accept it. Fifeville's a perfect example, Salvation Army site, Fifeville neighborhood, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
For the low barrier shelter.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, one thing I heard repeatedly at the city council meeting was, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Everybody kept asking that question. If you pass this ordinance, because somehow they think that the police are going to go and talk to every single homeless person in Charlottesville and tell them they can't camp here, wherever here is, which is patently absurd, because that's not what we want the police to be doing. That's not what the police want to be doing, and that's not what Police Chief Conscious is going to send the police to do. This is specifically to give them the ability to do something, and in most cases, this is going to dealing with the downtown mall. This is not walking around all of Charlottesville and telling people they can't camp here.
This ordinance was specifically about the downtown mall, 100% in agreement.
So, why not give them an encampment?
Greer Achenbach highlighted the Friends of CVille executive director about offering them an encampment. Matthew Gillikin, the co-chair of Livable CVille, who is, my opinion, absolutely damaging Charlottesville, referenced the encampment. Mm-hmm. I think even Jeff Fogel referenced the encampment. Conan Owens watching the program.
I'm telling you,
the CEO of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia, Conan Owen, a Darden graduate. If you have a logo and you need an application for it, Conan Owen is who you call. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia is locally owned and operated. Signs, window decals, direct mail, the banner behind me, lanyards, passes, badges, pamphlets, folders, trifolds. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia is who you call, locally owned and operated. Conan says, Greer was exactly right. Create an encampment and move it to the floodplain. Remember, the city bought the dirt from Wendell Wood to keep developer Bo Carrington, the Covenant School graduate, the talented Duke lacrosse player, who I believe pursued an MBA at the Darden School, the head of, 7 Development, Bo Carrington. I hope I'm getting your development company's name right. Bo Carrington, class act, great guy. Might see him walking around town in cowboy boots. Always sharply dressed, Bo Carrington. Came on the program to talk about the project on East High Street, Bo Carrington. Steward of the community from a development standpoint, Bo Carrington. Had a joint venture in play with Wendell Wood, the Wood family, the largest landowners in Albemarle County. This particular parcel was on East High Street, where the fair used to be, the banks of the Rivanna River. They wanted to build apartments there. Haters and activists came out. Don't build housing, not on the banks of the Rivanna, not down by the water. Don't build that housing. Same people saying, we need housing to stabilize prices. We need more density to stabilize the prices. Just don't do it over there by the banks of the Ravenna. Don't do it over there in Fifeville, the historically financially marginalized community. Don't do it over there next to West Haven, the historically financially marginalized and forgotten community. No apartment towers overlooking West Haven. No density in homeless shelters in Fifeville. No apartments on East High Street by the river. We only want the housing in the area of the rich white folk. That's what they're saying. City caved to the pressure. Bought the land from Wendell Wood. Wendell Wood's somewhere going, he, like Mr. Burns in his factory. I'm going to sell this parcel of mud that can't stabilize housing anyway to the city. And they're going to buy this afterthought property. He found a Smithers. Maybe Bo was the Smithers in that scenario. Let's see if we can get a joint venture in play, because I know, Mr. Burns, if a joint venture for housing by the banks of the Ravenna is in play, these activists are going to come out of the cracks. And they're going to force the city to buy this mud from me. A parcel that historically floods. City did it. City gave Wendell a lot of money. Wendell sold 462 acres to Albemarle County, north of town. Some would say undevelopable. Now that's what? Ravenna Futures? Is that where AstraZeneca's going in their multi-billion-dollar facility? Greer says, take that parcel on East High Street. City owns it. It's a park. Allow the encampment there. Create the 2025 version of Sandersville.
I still think it should be on the corner of Preston. Here, I've got photos.
You're going to put them on screen?
Yeah.
I don't see how putting a homeless encampment on the gateway to the downtown mall is a good idea. Now, I will get some resistance from the business owners on East High Street. One of them that's near and dear to our heart, the Vermillions, about putting in a homeless encampment on the dirt, on the mud patch the city bought from Wendell. Show them. You got visuals? I don't mean to interrupt. Put them on screen.
It's not even here's the corner of Preston and McIntyre, and let me just say that it's not a question of putting it there. It's a question of who's going to take it away. It's not a park.
Is it on screen?
Yeah.
Okay. We got a 10-second delay, so I can't see it.
I've got a couple more pictures of it. It's not a park. There's no. I don't believe there's any.
This is Judah next to the county office building.
You don't have to be.
Judah wants to put the homeless encampment next to the county office building. The gateway to the downtown mall.
Look at all that green.
Yeah.
You don't have to be out by 11 o'clock.
I don't even think the city owns this, dude.
Who does?
And can anyone help me on this?
Does it matter who owns it?
Jim Hingley, can you help me on this?
Okay.
Jim Hingley's watching the program and he texted me here. Who owns the county office building that is in the city of Charlottesville? Only in Charlottesville, Virginia, will the Albemarle County office building be in Charlottesville city limits? Who owns that dirt?
Okay, but before we get any more in the weeds about who owns it.
It's not in the weeds. Ownership is not in the weeds. Go ahead. I apologize for interrupting.
It is because we essentially just heard from City Council that they're not going to do anything about encampments.
City Council cannot tell Albemarle County, we are going to allow a homeless encampment on the dirt that you own.
But they are saying we're not going to do anything about it. I'm not saying they allow it.
Bill McChesney would know this. William McChesney, mayor of McIntyre. Does Albemarle County own that? Yeah, he says that is county property, Judah.
Okay.
So that kiboshes that idea.
No.
You're saying you want Charlottesville City Hall and City Council to order from the dais Charlottesville's homeless population to create an encampment next to the county office building.
I never said that they should order from the dais. No.
You're showing pictures of it.
If the city's houseless population decided to set up camp there, who is going to stop them? They just shot down a ordinance that would allow the police to go in and do something about it.
I will say this, that the incompetence, the malpractice, the dysfunction, the malfeasance from City Hall, from City Council, with managing the houseless population and this ordinance is to the betterment of Albemarle County. because there's no framework, there's no legal framework to manage the houseless now. Every houseless person that's in Albemarle County should now come to Charlottesville City, because now they know this. The police can do nothing about it. Charlottesville City Hall and Charlottesville City Council on Tuesday night said, we're going to table it. We're not even going to talk about this anytime soon.
Yeah.
You got free internet.
That's exactly my point.
You got electricity everywhere.
Look, this patch.
You got panhandlers. You got people to panhandle.
This patch.
You got a public library where you can wash your private parts and get out of the inclement weather.
This patch of green that I'm showing on the screen again is literal minutes from the Haven. The whole problem is when people leave the Haven, they stay on the downtown mall. If they decided to take up this beautiful green patch of land,
would it make more sense, as Conan Owen has said, and as Greer Achenbach has referenced, to take dirt the city already owns, which it purchased from Wendell Wood, which is next to a water source, the Rivanna River, and create that into the encampment, as opposed to turning a blind eye and hoping and praying the encampment finds the green grass that's next to the Albemarle County office building?
Okay.
Wouldn't Basic Management 101 say, let's steer these people away from the business district, especially a gateway or entry point to the business district, that piece of parcel that you put online? And I'll say it again, somewhere the county executive in Albemarle County, and somewhere the Board of Supervisors in Albemarle County, Ned Galloway, B. Lepisto Kirtley,
yeah,
Mike Pruitt, Jim Andrews.
What about them?
All these supervisors, they're jumping for joy. They're like, good God, Charlottesville's wetting the bed as if it's a 2.5-year-old who drank too much Kool-Aid before 8 o'clock at night. And they don't have their depends on. Oops, I peed my pants. Wetting the bed, Charlottesville, when it comes to managing this houseless population. We're going through that right now with our 2.5-year-old. Our little boy just transitioned from a crib to a big boy bed. We got him a full-size Tempur-Pedic. And this full-size Tempur-Pedic, you know what the most important element you get, Judah? When you're transitioning a 2.5-year-old from a crib to a big boy bed, you know what the most important purchase is for that transition, Judah? What do you think it is? It's the pee protector that goes over the mattress, that protects the mattress from being stained. And Charlottesville right now is governing without a plastic pee protector.
Okay.
And all it's doing is tarnishing and staining and stinking its mattress. And in this metaphor, it's the business district. Tarnish, stain, and stink. Thank God we spent the $40 on the pee cover. Mayor Wade, where's your pee cover for the business district? And the way it was managed with Kochis, making him the fall guy, deplorable. How Michael Payne interacted with Kochis, disingenuous. How none of the 5 counselors were willing to raise their hand in front of a council chambers of bullies and say, it was me who came up with this ordinance. Spineless. To allow the council chambers to attribute it to Donald Trump's executive order? Pathetic. To have this in the works since April and have it presented in September for it to be shot down 5-0? Poorly managing taxpayer resources and dollars. Malpractice, malfeasance. Brian Pinkston's got about September, October, November, and December. He's got less than 4 months left. Mm-hmm. This is part of Pinkston's legacy. Brian Pinkston, I hope you hear that. This is part of your legacy, Brian Pinkston. 4 months left. It'll be on your Wikipedia page. When your grandchildren Google you, this will be on there. All of them have said on the dais that the issue that they get most connected or hear from constituents from is this, the houseless. We know a number because the number was presented in Tuesday's meeting, about 240 houseless people. Mm-hmm. Can someone explain to me, please, how 240, the number presented in Tuesday night's meeting, how 240 people have Charlottesville, Virginia, by the balls and the short and curlies?
I would say that's a little disingenuous.
How so?
Because because they're not making decisions or asking anyone to do any specific thing. They're just
doing,
and they're also
whatever they want.
And they're also not a what's the word? They're not a block of singular-minded people. As
okay, how's this for a better phrase? How's this
said.
For a better presentation? Okay, I'll give you that. There's 240 homeless. There's even less activists than the 240. How are 200 activists, Livable Charlottesville and Nakia Walker, the leaders, have the city by the balls and the short and curlies? Is that better? They're acting in a block or unison. Livable Charlottesville, here's the email we want you to send it to council. Council on Tuesday night references, oh, we get all these emails from the people, and yes, they say the exact same thing. It's clearly a coordinated email campaign of copy and paste. Kachis referenced it as well yesterday. Okay, does that meet your criteria of 200 people working in a block, organized, strategized, localized, to try to control a city of 50,000 people in a region of 300,000? Will you give me that?
Yeah, more or less, sure.
Okay. There's how many instances in our history, Virginia, United States, and world history, of a small group of people tarnishing, damaging the outcomes, the futures, and the quality of lives of larger groups of people? That's how wars are started. That's the impetus for battles and wars. Do we want to reference history where that's been the case? Tina Wyatt, Breeden, absolutely spineless, those folks. Chief Kachis, I stand up for that guy. Holly Foster, yes, the city council threw the chief under the bus. He was very diplomatic yesterday in his visit with you. I understand how he feels. Everyone has a voice, but they were very rude to the chief.
No doubt.
John Blair, to turn to the sales tax issue, I just want to point out that you and I have both pointed out that Ivy and Crozet continue to grow out commercial enterprises and restaurants. If you take a look at your 2023 shows, you talked about how Ivy is really spinning up. I drove up 29 last Saturday morning, and I am also shocked at just how much the 29 corridor is growing. The point being, how many people in Albemarle now conduct most of their lives in the county and no longer go into the city except to work if they work in the city and on a rare occasion a UVA football game? This was not the case pre-COVID. That's John Blair, number 2 in the family. It's funny you mentioned that, John Blair, because number 1 in the family is Deep Throat, and this is what Deep Throat did. Man loves data. He said, literally, I was playing around, Deep Throat, I was playing around with the Placer.ai, That was the source for the Friends of CVille statistic about visits dropping in the downtown mall from 2017 to 2023. Placer.ai is the data intelligence that tracks IPs on phones. And when you have a little bit of assumption that everyone now has a smartphone in their hand or on their person, which I think is safe, so you can track each of these smartphones has a unique IP. So if you're able to track IPs, you're able to track foot traffic in very targeted areas. And with Placer AI, Friends of CVille, the lobbying group, the pro-business lobbying group, led by Greer Achenbach, presented data from 2017 to 2023. Visits had dropped tremendously. She referenced that in public comment on Tuesday night. Deep Throat takes a deep dive with that data. He goes, I am just using the free tier of it, which is very limited, but was surprising to me that Stonefield, the shops of Stonefield, has double the visits of the downtown mall. I wonder if the Friends of CVille folks know this and can show you more historical data. Then he says, Deep Throat and Barracks Road Shopping Center beats both Stonefield and the downtown mall. And he shows me data screenshots from Placer.ai. Then he goes off and offers other intelligence that is for other stuff that we're working on.
Interesting.
So straight up tracking data, IP addresses on phones, Stonefield is now beating the downtown mall. Executive economic developer, economic director of development, Chris Engel. When do you start pointing out, when do you start standing up and banding up and saying, Houston, we have a problem? In the first quarter of this year, and this is on the Chamber of Commerce website, okay? I will take the link from the Chamber of Commerce website and I'm going to put it in the comment section of my personal Facebook page, facebook.com/Jerry Miller. Just search Jerry Miller on Facebook and I will come up first. And when you do search for me, hit the follow and subscribe button for me. Make sure you're following me. I just shared a link in Jerry Miller Now. I'll also share it in the comment section of I Love CVille Now. I Love CVille Facebook. This link tracks sales tax collection data. I learned today from Neil Williamson that it does not include meals tax or lodging tax, strictly sales tax. It does include internet sales tax collection. In the first quarter of this year, 2025, versus the first quarter of last year, Charlottesville City was down in its sales tax collection 2.53%. Some people would be like, oh, big deal, it's 2.53%, who cares? But then you realize this, and this is the point Neil made. 2024, the entire year of 2024, was down compared to 2023.
Yeah.
So that is a data set and a concerning trend line. When 2025 first quarter sales tax collection is down on Q1 of 2024 collection, and Q1 2024 collection is down on 2023 collection, you have a concerning trend line. Now we also know that Bonny and Reed, the restaurant, is closed, that Alakazam is closed, that Tubby's is closed, that Blue Moon Diner is closed, that 10,000 Village is closed, that Eljo's is closed, Moose's by the Creek is closed, Reed's grocery store is closed, Guadalajara Fontaine Avenue is closed, Little John's is closed, Belmont Pizza is closed, Alakazam is closed. Those are all in 2025 or in the data set period that is not yet registered. So as Neil said this morning, we're about to be at the halftime report with sales tax collection.
Yeah.
And what's happening is the Office of Economic Development in City Hall, led by Chris Engel, they're touting a vacancy rate on the downtown mall of about 1 point, 2 points, something in that range, a very low vacancy rate. But the story that they're missing is this. The vacancies that are being filled on the downtown mall are being filled by entities that should be downtown. Should the Charlottesville Redevelopment and Housing Authority that handles public housing and vouchers be in one of the most critical buildings on the downtown mall? No. Their office closes at 5 p.m.
And how much revenue are they bringing in?
It generates no revenue except for real estate taxes. That's not sales tax collection.
We're also looking at...
Should Operation Hope, the entity that assimilates convicts into society, be located as a storefront on the downtown mall?
in the former
Bashir's
Taverna.
restaurant location.
Yeah.
No. Does that generate sales tax revenue? Are the CRHA storefront and the entity that assimilates convicts into society drivers of foot traffic, advantageous foot traffic for the economy of Charlottesville? See, these are the questions we ask on the program. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me. But you're going to effing feel something when you watch this show. And you're going to talk about it. My standpoint, and I don't hide my opinion, that's why you watch the program. The Charlottesville Redevelopment and Housing Authority, the foot traffic it's driving, does not meet what the business district of downtown Charlottesville should be, nor the Convicts to Assimilation Society nonprofit. Mm-hmm. You disagree? You agree? What are your thoughts?
I think my thought is we might be turning away some pizza.
From whom?
I don't know, but
Well, show must go on.
Pepitos.
Show must go on. We appreciate Pepito's coming by, but it's the I Love CVille show. We'd be doing the viewers and listeners a disservice taking free pizza and cutting the show off.
That's fair.
What is your thoughts?
My thought is that well, actually, I did a bit of a dive into local tax tax income the city's getting. I was asking ChatGPT some questions, and it was interesting. It popped out a graph for me showing that after obviously there was a downturn during COVID, but the year after there was an upturn.
Now I feel terrible. Is Pepito still there?
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
they're waiting.
Welcome in. Let them know that we're fine so they don't have to wait over here. Bring in the pizza and say we're doing a show, and we'll give you a plug on the program now and give you some props on Monday and Tuesday. Can we make this transition happen in less than 30 seconds so we're not doing a disservice to the viewers and listeners? Do you want a studio camera? Do you want a Market Street camera, this interaction?
Yeah, we can do the Marcus.
And I can talk over this as well. The team at Pepitos is opening at...
There they are. You
The
can
team
see
at
'em.
Pepitos is opening up at Mono Loco. Confirm that they're opening at Mono Loco, okay, J-Dubs? We love you guys so much. We love you guys. You guys should totally come on the show. We try to follow it closely. Yeah, we are live on air right now. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. We love your pizza. This is what we should do. Can we reach out to you? You guys are actually on camera right now. Can we reach out to you and get you on the show next week?
Let's do it.
To talk about Mono Loco?
We've been listening to you.
Okay.
We want to share the news.
Okay.
We also brought you pizza to share the news.
Thank you. Thank you. I see it. Thank you. I will connect. Thank you. No problem. Good to see you. Thank you. I love it. We love it. That's the Pepitos team that is opening at Mono Loco Restaurant. Okay, this is literally live programming. What other media platform gives the viewers and listeners this in Charlottesville, Virginia?
All right.
Is there anyone in Central Virginia that is offering you this, ladies and gentlemen? Yesterday was an hour with the police chief without stopping. You were in the middle of talking about sales tax collection data. That pizza smells so good.
Oh yeah.
We will get Pepitos on the show.
So so obviously there was a downturn during COVID. It turned back up briefly for like a year, and it's been in a downtrend again in the last. I think it was 24 was the last year that it showed. So it's been in a downtrend for a year or two now.
What is City Council doing about this? I have been highlighting this on our platform for years. There's two people, I'll include you. There are three people in Charlottesville, Virginia that are willing to speak about this vocally. Greer Achenbach, and she's paid to do it. Me and Judah, who are not paid to do it. Three people who are talking about how Matthew Gilligan, Nikhil Walker, and Stephen Johnson, I'll even throw the folks at the Haven from some of the stuff that I'm hearing, with an exit acquisition number at $5 million to stop what they're doing, despite market value not being near that. You say and do what you want with that.
It's what, 3x what it's worth?
Say and do what you want, viewers and listeners, with that.
So
all I'm saying is $5 million if you want us to stop what we're doing here, even though market does not suggest that's the value of the real estate, and certainly no one's buying the brand.
So here's the thing. I also asked it to project if the downtown mall were to regain its former glory, and you projected the income from taxes that would be brought in from the downtown mall to, from the point where the downtown mall was doing well to today. That's probably going to be an extra, and I'm not like trying to say that I've got all the numbers right or anything.
Too
like
many
that.
words to make your point.
But the point is that money that we're missing out on, tax revenue from the downtown mall, could go towards helping the houseless.
100%. Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what he's trying to say. A strong economy that yields incremental sales tax revenue can be allocated to any endeavor you want if you're city council. How's that for succinct? I'll say it again. See the forest through the trees, local leadership and government. If you have an economy that's clicking on all cylinders and performing well, and you have more sales tax collection, meals tax, lodging tax, sales tax, any kind of effing tax, real estate tax, property tax, you can take that money and build shelters. You can take that money and create addiction counseling, alcohol counseling, drug counseling, resume building services. Lodging, computer labs. You can get the homeless out of the public library where parents are afraid to take their kids to the library on Market Street.
And you can do it without raising taxes on retail rooftops.
Effing obvious. I'm literally living in a world, in a community of utter incompetence. It is so effing obvious. Connect the dots here. Here's how you connect the dots. 5 people on the dais. A, you're going to have to stand up against the backlash of the Gillikin gang. They're going to hurl nasty words at you.
No matter what.
You're in a tough spot here. But if you get some balls and stand up, you say, we are going to have an ordinance where you can't camp anymore publicly, and we're going to work quickly to build a low barrier shelter. Even if we have to staff it ourselves, but we prefer to do it with a nonprofit or for-profit entity that we're willing to pay to staff it. This gets the camps and the campers from staying on the downtown mall in the business district. And it goes to the shelters, which is better quality of life for them. Air conditioning, computers, showers, laundry, addiction counseling, public transportation on a bus line. Then the business district starts seeing increased foot traffic. Bonny and Reed's don't close. Alakazam's don't close. Commonwealth Sky Bar opens. Draft Tap Room opens. Real estate has more value. Tenants are willing to lease empty real estate. Real estate tax collection goes up. Sales tax collection goes up. Meals tax collection goes up. Lodging taxing goes up. People stay at the hotels. The downtown gets a brand, again, like it had before COVID. Notoriety, media, prestige. That notoriety, media, and prestige attracts more people. And it's a cyclical positive domino effect that leads to enhanced cash coffers. Cash in coffers. The enhanced cash in the coffers can be allocated and utilized any way you want. More homeless shelters, more addiction counseling, more computer labs, more resume building, more drug counseling, more laundromats. Are you not seeing the easiest path of solving this problem ever? Juan Diego Wade, Brian Pixton, I'm sorry. You had your chance 4 years. You only got 3 months left. Your Wikipedia page is going to be clouded and crowded with this. But Juan Diego Wade, Lloyd Snook, Michael Payne, Natalie Ocean, and Jen Fleischer, you have a chance to make an impact and have a pretty solid legacy and Wikipedia page that your grandchildren are going to read about.
Unless you want to stand on the fact that that all we need is more housing and a shelter. Neither of which are
Instead, what the numbnuts and the buffoons do is this. Oh my gosh. There's 142 people yelling at me right now. I know I told the police chief and the city manager and the city ordinance to draft this ordinance. I know I did. But I don't want to tell these people in this room that it was me who told them to get the ordinance going. I'm just going to be quiet and sit on my hands and put my head down and say, please, 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 to try to keep people in check because I don't want them angry with me. I'm going to just leave my police chief who's done more things positive for this community in the last 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years than anybody. I'm just going to leave him alone on an island as if he's Tom Hanks and Wilson. And I'm going to let people call him a fascist and cuss him out and interrupt him and humiliate and embarrass him. I'm going to let Greer Achenbach, who's just trying to stand up for the business community, get bazookaed and nuclear bombed, hurled insults at, called a fascist and nasty, nasty names. But I'm going to say nothing. I'm the moderator to the meeting, and all I'm going to say is please, 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 to try to keep people in check. And then I'm going to table indefinitely a houseless ordinance that I told the people to create in the first place, and I'm going to base it on the premise that we don't have a shelter, so we don't know where they're going to go, when in April, we already knew they didn't have a shelter. We already knew in April that they weren't going to have a shelter, and they straight up said it was going to take a year to build one. And in September, when it was presented, that's just a few months after April.
Truly baffling.
We are in, oh, God. And you know what? You know who's to blame? You know who's to blame? It's not the guy who goes, please, 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 please. It's not the guy who just moved out of his mother's basement. It's not the gal who's living in the city who's trying to tell the community that we need a road diet and we need people to ride their bikes and walk everywhere to and from work, even though she's selling $500,000 weddings in North Garden. It's not the guy who works for the University of Virginia whose legacy is going to be tarnished. And it's not even my friend who's down the hallway from me, who's in his second term and has done a lot of good for this community. The people that are to blame are the people that put these people in office that are voting and acting this way. It's you and me. Well, it's not me and you. I live in Albemarle County.
So do I.
I live in Albemarle. I chose to live in Ivy for a reason. It's far away from this. Oh, you could say, well, you're running I Love CVille and you're right in the eye of the storm. Be like, I know. God, what am I doing? There's only so much you can do when you're 18 years into running something. It's not like you can recreate it again. Please, please, please. If Juan Way does that again at the next meeting where there's chaos like that and all he does is please, please, please.
Yeah.
I have pizza to eat.
Ooh, yeah. I'd almost forgotten about
And
that.
we need to go make some money. Jim Hinchley said, Judah, the owner of the property has the right to prevent the unpermitted use of the property as an encampment.
How are they going to do that?
It's Albemarle County's property. They can have their own ordinance. Don't sleep on our city office building.
How long do you think that's going to take for them to
Albemarle County would bust balls on this.
You think they'd come out with it? And so are they going to send...
If 240 homeless people, because Judah Wickower, who's got a following in this community and just freshly got a haircut, tells the 240 homeless to go sleep in the county office building, Albemarle County is going to come out with the order and is going to say, you can't do that.
I'm putting the green on the screen
Jim
again.
Hinchley also says this, Lloyd Snook referenced an encampment where water and sanitation could be made available. Put it down by the river at Wendell Wood's property. That's going to catch me some grief.
So
and then the fixer sends me this. Don't forget the trailer park that they bought that they will never develop either. The Carlton trailer park.
Yeah.
The Nakiah Walkers of the Gillikin gang bullied the city into offering a bridge loan to Habitat for Humanity and PHA to buy a trailer park to prevent housing from happening. Explain to me why the same effing people in this community, I need your help understanding this. Can you help me understand this? Can you tell I'm a bit fired up today? Explain to me how the same people in our effing community are screaming, we need more density and we need more housing. But when the density and the housing and the shelters materialize, those people say it can't happen in Fifeville, where the co-chair of Livable CVille lives. It can't happen in the trailer park in Carlton. And it can't happen in the banks of the Rivanna River, or it can't happen in the site that's overlooking West Haven. This housing can only happen in the Blue Ridge neighborhood, and the Rugby neighborhood, and the North Downtown neighborhood, on Locust Avenue, and Greenbrier. It can't happen in Fifeville, can't happen in Star Hill, can't happen in West Haven, can't happen on Cherry Avenue, Can't happen in Hogwaller.
Indecisiveness. It's like someone saying...
It's not indecisiveness. It's not indecisiveness. That's the wrong word. It's strategic. Because they have an agenda for the housing to happen in a population of people that are historically affluent and historically homogenous in color. The reality is marketplace dynamics will never allow that kind of housing to be built because the dirt is entirely too expensive, and the folks that live in those areas have covenants and restrictions in a lot of cases to prevent the development from happening.
Yeah.
They will always go to the path of least resistance, which in this case is the cheapest dirt purchasable.
Especially with the cost of everything else.
And this is 70 minutes of content that you will get nowhere else in Central Virginia. You will not like what I say. You will not agree with what I say. You may like what I say. You may agree with what I say, but you're going to feel something every show. You're going to feel something every show, and that's why you watch. And no one else is giving you this. And that's why the Pepitos team comes by here with 2 pizzas for Judah and I. And yes, we're going to get them on the show. And yes, they're going to have the best signage in the business thanks to Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. And if they need sanitary and cleaning needs, John Vermillion and Andrew Vermillion at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply will have them covered. That's the Friday show. UVA, NC State, 12 o'clock Saturday, ESPN2. Wolfpack, 3.5-point favorite. Huge game for Tony Elliott. Huge game for Tony Elliott and bowl eligibility and keeping his job. Huge game for the community. Economic development, huge. Judah Wickower, Jerry Miller. I'm eating pizza.